Nothing like a little sunshine. Got sand on your feet and a big bass line. Moving slow cause we've got time. Your sparkles out, party at mine. Check out the view, shades low. Started at 2, no room to go. Come to my party, all of your friends are here, and we're all smiling ear to ear. Come disappear.
I'm all in. I'm all in. All in.
But there's a king on the turn!
It's never easy in poker.
Oh, the big stack.
Ooh, I'm in good shape right now.
The town takes it down. Like it's like Coles, and it's over.
Hello once again and welcome to the PokerStars European Poker Tour as we pick up on day 3 of the record-breaking EPT Barcelona main event. So if you missed our coverage on day 2 of EPT Barcelona, here is what happened. The day began with confirmation that this is the biggest EPT ever. 1,931 total entries. More than 750 players took to the tables for day 2. And before we got cards in the air, a platinum pass was awarded to Eric Lenoir, winner of the Crazy Pineapple Challenge. At our feature table, Patrick Antonius and John Joanda crushed during their time on the main stage. Towards the end of the day, the bubble loomed. Guillaume Diaz, a former Platinum Pass winner, busted in 297th, bursting the bubble, leaving 296 players in the money. And it was former champ Ben Wilanowski who bagged the chip lead at the end of day 2. $259 players taking their seats for day 3. Let's take a look at the chip leaders, the 10 biggest stacks in the room. Ben Wilanowski is chip daddy. He is tournament boss with 850K, 170 big blinds. All these guys with more than 100 bigs each as we head into level 16. Blinds right now are 2,500, 5,000 with a 5K big blind ante. I am very excited about the lineup on the main stage. We've got one of the former champs at the feature table, and he is among the chip leaders, Dominic Panker, who won the 2014 PCA. He's got 603K, 120 big blinds. We've also got Anatoly Filatov, who won the Millions event in Sochi recently. And we've got Chris Moorman, an online beast, although he is going to need to spin up that stack. Just 13 bigs at the start of play.
Every few levels on the screen, on the ticker just there under the clock.
So let's get the action started here on day 3.
Break after level 6, which is after the 6th level.
Panker comfortably playing more than 600K, near enough 3 times the tourney average, with 255 players now remaining.
You have a sponsor.
It must be nice for him knowing that nobody on the table can really threaten his tournament life at this point. Obviously a very experienced player, and it maybe not something that would affect him, but the fact that he put so much pressure on, and worst case scenario, he still has 80 big blinds. It's a nice position to be in.
It's exactly where you want to be on day 3, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
So raise under the gun from Mulder with the Queen 9 of hearts.
Round to Filatov in the small blind. Ace 5 of clubs.
Yeah, 200 something.
Both players playing very similar stacks around the 40 big blind mark. Could certainly see a defend in some capacity, be it a call or a 3-bet. I would imagine more likely a 3-bet, given that he's out of position. Only one red spade left, but on this table, at least 2 red shades.
Are you?
Are you going to let him get away with it?
I mean, it's not exactly flying the flag for the team, though, is it?
The problem is, it's because Joe Stapleton's not on the level today, so I have to fill in with that sort of joke. I'm trying my best, but they're big shoes to fill.
32?
I'm not sure anyone out there was missing it, Spraggy, but...
Okay, all right, we'll leave it for now.
I think if you're Mulder and you get 3-bet from the small blind here, the problem with calling a hand like Queen 9 suited at this stack depth is a lot of his 3-betting range is going to dominate you. But he feels like he's getting the right price, and we are going to see a flop.
And he's actually doing okay against the ace-5
Yeah,
of clubs. But like you said, there's a lot of king-queens and ace-queens.
Pretty good flop for Filatov, still ahead with ace-high, plus he has a straight flush draw. Quick hello to Simon Baker, not the mentalist. Didn't manage to watch yesterday, but I'm here for the whole ride today. Looking forward to a fun stream. GL, Jamie Staples. Flying the flag solo for Team Red Spade. I imagine this is one of those days where we'll mix up the feature table lineups over the course of the 6 levels. There's every chance we'll see Jamie later on.
Obviously, we can see that Mulder's probably going to be folding to any bet, but for Filatov, I think he can go pretty small here because there's not a single turn card that he's not able to fire. And if Mulder floats him with hands like ace-10 of hearts, pocket 7s, pocket 8s, he's pretty happy with that because he's not going to be able to take the heat on the turn anyway. It can be somewhat tempting to just bet this board very large so that he can shove the turn, but it's not an issue for you if they defend the weaker parts of their range, and then you can just put all the pressure on, because there's not a single turn that Filatov won't feel happy bet on. Maybe an offsuit king would be the one card that would slow him down.
Was an offsuit 5. He improves to a pair. He's a 9-1 favourite here.
And likewise, there's an argument that this card would slow him down as well, right? He picks up a little bit of showdown value. He can happily check call, given he improves a lot on the river as well. Mulder stepping a little bit out of line on the flop, but 3/5 of a straight flush.
Wait. I didn't do anything. He checked.
That was a little bit confusing with the tap on the arm there, I felt.
I thought he was checking as well.
And at this point, if you floated the Queen 9 of hearts, it might be time to start thinking about putting in some bets. Obviously, you'd prefer to have turned equity like, you know, a 10 or a jack or a heart. But Mulder indeed is making a bet.
Do you have something?
The problem with maybe betting the Queen 9 is that once you start betting this hand, you're betting all of your floats, and you're just going to be maybe bluffing a little bit too much against a player who probably has a pretty strong range in the first place. Of course, we can see that he has hands like ace-5 suited as well, but he's going to bet small with hands like pocket queens, pocket jacks. He might pot control some king queens, even occasionally an ace king, so I'm not sure how I feel about the very small bet. Unless he's going to go for it on the river, but it's a hard one to pull off with the Queen 9 of hearts.
That's it. Typically, your bets, they want to have, your bluffs rather, want to have at least some chance to improve. Queen 9 of hearts is drawing pretty thin against most calls.
So Filatov calls 3 of diamonds on the river. Let's see if Mulder can pull the trigger here. 178k in the middle. He's got 123k behind. And the stacks are pretty even. If he does go for it here, let's say he bluff shoves the river, it's pretty much all into call for Filatov.
Again, the problem for Mulder, I feel, is he just doesn't have a lot of value hands. Maybe king queen suited, king jack suited, the occasional aces, but he has pulled the trigger.
Wow.
Filatov is an accomplished player. If anyone can sniff this out, if anyone can make this thin call, he can.
He'd definitely prefer if he did not have the ace of clubs in his hand himself, I feel.
Yeah. I feel like that ace of clubs, you know, that's the card you want your opponent to be able to have and be able to be bluffing with. And he does make the laydown. That is a huge pot for Mulder early on here. Floating the Queen 9 of hearts in a 3-bet pot. Gets the job done with bets on the turn and an all-in on the river.
Well, let's see many of the players arriving in the room before the start of play. Jamie was filming himself as usual.
Looking good, I might add.
Ben Wilanowski, one of our former champs and the start of date chip leader. That is the banana and chip stack of Benny Spindler, former EPT London winner. Patrick Antonius is back in action and sharing a table once again with Danny Tang. John Juanda is a former EPT Barcelona winner, took down the title here in 2015. And the reigning Barcelona champ is hashtag Scarf Guy. Panker in action here, raising under the gun with ace-10 suited. Is Desmont thinking of getting funky with queen-3 of diamonds?
He certainly seems to take a little bit of time for every decision, which I don't mind, you know, just consider all your options. Because, you know, some of the time you might want to put in some 3-bets here. Filatov not 3-betting, he'll come along with the 7s.
Yeah, I think it'd be a few too many big blinds to launch into the middle with the 2 7s. Even though Panka has got a lot of chips, he's still raising from under the gun here.
Like nothing. For your stack. For me, everything.
Ace high flop, 2 pair for Panka. Relatively easy for Filatov to get away from.
Yeah, his hand has shriveled pretty quickly here, the 2 7s. Exactly what he wanted to avoid, the big Broadway flop.
Have the 7s dried up?
Is it over?
Is it over? Is it dead?
I don't know. Year of the 7, no more. That's you out of business. You're finished. That emote, mate, that was all you had. Now, down the drain. Shut it down. Retired from Twitch now, or?
All right, bench.
This is a check from Dominic Panka and Anatoly Filatov betting the 2 7s straight into the 2 pair. I guess he's hoping that Panka gets here with some hands like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, Queen Jack, King Jack, that he can apply some pressure to.
I mean, if he's attacking the hands like Queen Jack and King Jack, he's going to have to fire multiple streets.
Right.
For Panka to have this hand in this spot on that board, is this a just call spot most of the time, or would you most likely be raising?
I would just call. I think Filatov can have hands like Ace-Jack, occasionally pocket 10s, occasionally Jacks, but they're most likely going to be all in pre. He never has Ace-King. I don't think he has Ace-Queen too often, so you probably just want to give him rope to possibly fire it off and, you know, have some strong hands in your check call range so that every time you check, you don't just have weak hands when a good player like Filatov would take advantage of that.
And is protection overrated, though? I mean, it's a straighty 2-diamond board. I mean, when you improve to full house on the river, it becomes an academic question, obviously, but...
I think hands like Queen Jack, King Jack are probably going to peel flop anyway, right? So, like, in terms of... You're okay giving a free card. Most of the time, it's only going to be 4 outs, sometimes, obviously, 9 to a flush draw, but like Finnan says, a player like Anatoly Filatov is probably going to attack you once you check here some of the time. So it's good to have hands like this. And Filatov's certainly going to have King-Queen as well. And if you go for a check raise on the flop, you tend to isolate yourselves against the really strong parts of your opponent's range.
There's also just not a lot of flush combinations that he can have. You know, he can have King-Queen of diamonds, he can have Queen-10 of diamonds, King-10 of diamonds. There's not a lot of hands that he can have that are flush draws. He's not flatting 8-9 of diamonds, I wouldn't say.
So Panka bets 35,000 on the river. Filatov folds.
And the rich get richer. Dominic Panka scooping another one. He's up to nearly 650,000 chips.
Oh, I have some news that's going to make many of our viewers very, very unhappy. One of the players we saw in action yesterday on our feature table is Ildur himself. Victor Blom is out, taking us down to 240 players. Victor receives 8,900 euros. There has been a money jump since we burst the bubble.
First player to act is after the big blind.
Thank you, Dominic.
Blind still 2,500, 5,000.
I'd love to see the flush.
And 10 of the
One
day.
of those hands.
Folded round to Mormon, who has 10 big blinds.
And it is time.
Stars nuts.
Get that man a triangle, pocket nines in the middle, 10 BBs. Can Chris Mormon find a spin?
Chris Mormon has more than $15 million in online cashes, which is a record. And Dominic Panker has King Queen in the small blind.
I would expect to see him call here.
Let's see if that momentum's with him. Let's see if he gets over the line here with a flip. Looks like he is making the call. Oh, he re-isolates all in from the small blind.
Jean, we're waiting.
We've seen him be quite deliberate and take a few moments, even when he has hands that he's probably not going to continue with.
It's all into call. Just fold already.
Listen, yesterday a man shoved all in from the big blind with 6-3 offsuit, facing a raised call. So I'm not calling anything today, but he does make the laydown, and we have a race for Chris Mormon versus Dominic Panker.
Yeah, we're going to flip the coin. Nines against King Queen. Mormon, the at-risk player, who's slightly ahead right now.
For this one.
At least it's not suited.
What do
If
you
it was suited,
prefer?
I'm out. Depends on the software, I believe. I think on this one I am favorite.
Queen, Jack,
The big
8.
stack always wins, right?
Queen, Jack, 8. Okay, board.
999.
If it comes out 999, we have a lot of trouble.
Mormon needs nines to hold. The flop
Maybe ace 10. Something.
has an ace on it, but no king or queen.
Safe for now, does have that additional king of hearts, might be a backdoor sweat. Wants to avoid anything red. Jack is fine, but it does give Panker additional outs to the straight.
Kings, queens, and tens working for Dominic Panker. 8 cards that could eliminate Chris Mormon. The river is a queen. Mormon unable to spin it up during the first level of day 3. Eliminated
I like it
in
only if I'm not in a
234th
hand.
place.
Well, there you have it, Bench.
How slow it
Momentum's the thing.
Momentum is real, poker fans.
Or if you are just not
Yeah,
interested.
Dominic
That's
Panker
all.
Yeah.
now
Or if
has
you have like a lot of chips,
more than 730k, close to 150 big blinds.
especially with the short stack.
Closing in on that chip lead.
Big stack. So,
We need to get to the outer tables because the reigning Barcelona champ, Sebastian Sorensen, is all in with 8-10 against ace-jack. He has a straight draw, and he gets there with an ace on the river. Scarf Guy gets the double up.
The dream is alive for the back-to-back champ.
Guess who we've just lost?
Don't tell me.
No defending champ, people. Hashtag Scarf Guy's gone.
What?
I'm sorry we missed the moment, but it was pretty blur. He shoved King Queen into Ace King, so nothing really that exciting. But sad news to see him walk away with his scarf. Everyone is now locked up. 9,740 euros. First prize in this year's EPT Barcelona main event is 1.6 million. Still a long way to go until we get to that final table with 184 players remaining. And this is a raise from Jean Demotte in the hijack. And we've only seen one of his cards, the Deuce of Spades.
You would imagine only accompanied by maybe Ace of Spades, at a stretch King of Spades, and another little 2. Oh.
University.
Okay.
The chess. Oh, the chess thing. Oh, yes.
I agree that all the options you suggested make a lot more sense than reality.
Okay, okay.
And 11 big blinds, so sure.
Mulder with Ace King.
The truth is out there.
There's the 3-bet. Re-raise from Mulder to 48,000. And with the blinds folding, or with the big blind folding rather, it is back on Desmott, who can fold here and leave himself 11 bigs. What's there to think about?
I mean, he's got live cards.
Excuse me?
He's just shoved with 5 deuce. What the heck? Yesterday it was 6-3, today 5 deuce. What's going on in Barcelona? What's in the water?
He even looks disappointed in himself.
Oh, he misread his hand.
Mistaken the ring. I thought it was.
He thought he had pocket deuces.
Oh no, not on day 3 of the EPT. Look at your cards again.
Who amongst us has not misread their hand on day 3 of an EPT and gone all in with 5 deuce offsuit? Guilty.
I mean, at least for him, he's up against ace king and he's still relatively live, has 33% equity.
Maybe this cigarette smoking man came through and changed one of his cards. Hey!
Sometimes. Let's pray.
7 for fun, right?
Yeah, let's put a 7. That's fair. That's fair.
How frustrated would you be if you end up losing this pot if you're Mulder, though?
It's also fair.
Even more entertaining.
10 cards that could eliminate Jean Desmott, who made a horrible, horrible misread. Thought he had deuces, gets it in with 5 deuce, has been rewarded with a 5 on the flop.
Guess what? Deuces win too, though. So, whatever.
Sorry, it's a mistake.
No worries.
I thought it was
I guess he usually
pair of 2.
he usually don't mind to see this out.
I'm sure Mulder will uncover the
But
government
anyway,
conspiracy
pair of 2 was
that led to that misread.
I love that Filatov is just laughing as Mulder has to watch it.
Oh yeah.
All in with deuces. Oh no, it's a 5.
I saw.
There he is, the last remaining PokerStars ambassador, Jamie Staples. Sat next to Denis Shafikov, who came 4th a few years back.
You raise under the gun so much.
Mustapha Kanit still going strong. As is Ben Pollock, who won the 50K event here a couple of days ago. Leo Margetts.
Buenos dias, Leo.
And remember this guy from yesterday, the online qualifier who was on our feature table, Alphonse Karam. Owns that Japanese-style sports bar chain in Nigeria. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a hashtag fun fact. Not a fake fact, a fun fact.
How much? 119.
So Filatov's moved all in here. Jotty opened with 10s. Desmott called. Filatov has shoved.
I'm all in.
And Jotty reshoves.
I think Filatov's going to be pretty happy to see that he finds himself in a flip here.
Racing with ace-jack against 10s.
Good luck. That's so shit.
You'll be okay. But many times.
I like only to watch on it. People do that, right? No, it's okay too, right? Looks
Not a
perfect.
good flop for Filatov.
Just what you were looking for, right?
That's still okay.
He's an ace or a jack, or he is going to be out of the tournament.
Jack or 10 on the turn is a nice guy.
Four of hearts, no help.
Doesn't lose outs, at least. Doesn't get any either.
Anatoly Filatov, thus in 162nd place, taking us down to 161. He cashes for 10,770 euros.
You know, I'm so sick of this. When are we going to find out what's going on with Jamie Staples?
We've given you regular updates on Jamie Staples, but as you ask, yeah, he's in a hand against Ben Heath, who you might recall is Charlie Carroll's mate. Pretty accomplished player himself, and Jamie's facing a decision on the river here. Ben Heath has bet. Jamie's playing a time bank card.
I'm near the top, man. That's the thing.
King 10, 9, 8, 7 on the board.
For me.
That's a sizable pot, by the way.
Give me credit to be able to bluff.
Jamie calls. Ben tables King 10 for 2 pair. And Jamie has aces. Aces cracked by King 10. And that will put a big dent in Jamie's stack. He has now got less than 200,000.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up.
Not a fun run out for the aces at all.
Dominic Panker has ace, king of diamonds.
No from him?
Powerful hand in a small blind. Be interesting to see whether he opts for a limp raise or whether he just comes out for the open. Looks like he is going to make the raise into the big blind to 22,000. So this is just shy of a 3x open with blinds at 4,000, 8,000. Definitely want to go a little bit bigger here with your raises, being out of position to the big blind.
The big blind that has a decision, it seems. Jean DeMott.
Been a bit of a pre-flop thinker, post-flop thinker, likes to take a moment. But certainly looks like he has something to continue with.
Oh, we didn't even have the cards yet. That's what was taking a minute.
Pocket threes.
Are we sure it's pocket threes? It's not 5-3?
I have more confidence in the ability of our scanners to read the cards than I do in Jean DeMott. 6-4-4, threes holding.
Never nice to flop the underpair on the paired flop though. Always makes your hand that much more vulnerable. And get counterfeited on high card runouts, repeat 6, or a repeat whatever the turn card is, as long as it's not a deuce, and he's going to be playing the board. Dominic Panker looking to continue his pre-flop aggression. I'd expect him to peel off one though.
All in.
Or...
Well, there they go.
All in.
Which is going to work well, maybe. The thing is, it doesn't really make sense to jam too many hands here, because you'd imagine he doesn't want to push all in with a hand like 3s or 6s, or a 6 if you're Dominic Panker. So maybe, you know, in a forward slow play the flop, look to just call and trap. So maybe Panker puts him on hand like 5-7, 7-8. Even so, very difficult to call off with ace-king, because your equity against 7-8 or 5-3 isn't that great. And if your opponent is ever playing a pair like this, then you're in even more trouble.
Feels a lot like a pair that you want to protect to me. A 6. Deuces, 3s, 5s.
Dominic Panker makes the call.
So DeMott is the player at risk and has to fade aces, kings, and 6s. Panker with 7 outs twice.
He's very, very lucky to be called here by a hand like ace-king. Normally jamming here, you're kind of isolating yourself against bigger pairs or 3 of a kind, or very, very strong draws, of which there aren't really too many on this flop. But I think in general, the value of the protection you get with a jam. Wow, ace on the turn.
Classic Panker.
You can only get it in good.
And now DeMott is drawing to 2 outs. He needs a 3 on the river to survive. River cards an 8, and we lose Jean DeMott, but we will always remember the 5 deuce. He had the Perez and misread it as pocket deuces. Understand we've got a new player coming to the main stage, and it's one of our former champions. So we've got Dominic Panka, the 2014 PCA winner, and now we've got Kalidou So, the Prague 2017 main event champion, who also won a Platinum Pass at the London Festival in January of this year. So Tuan Mulder and Dominic Panka pretty much tied at the top at our feature table right now. Muradov and Rivero also big stacks. Benjamin Pollock just below the tournament average. Mikolai Vaskoboynikov continues to be the short stack at the table with just 13 big blinds. Still 42 minutes left to play on this level.
No limps this hand. We had an open from Benjamin Pollock to 18,000. Kalidou So opting to just call the ace-king offsuit, which has resulted in a call behind him on the button with the 8s from Rivero, and Hanel now priced in with the 6-3 offsuit, a hand we saw on level 1 yesterday move the chips all into the middle, but this time it's just coming along for the ride.
Okay.
Queen 7-4 flop with 2 clubs.
Pollock making a flush draw, a reasonable spot for him to continue his aggression. Hanel making a gut shot straight draw. Rivero with a pair of 8s, and just Kalidou So who'll be particularly unhappy with the flop. And yet it is Kalidou So who's the player reaching for chips. Pollock opting to check his flush draw. And So will bet 29,000. Now, if you're Rivero, typically in a heads-up pot, you can be pretty happy, James. But with 2 other players to act, it's not a nice situation, and the 8s are just going to let it go.
Indeed.
And likewise here with the 6-3 offsuit, if you're heads up versus a button steal or something, you might look to float or raise. But equity not quite strong enough, I would imagine, to continue. But the chip protector goes back on the cards for now. But eventually they're into the muck.
Flush draws are so exciting.
Aren't they just?
I love a flush draw. It's weird how high the flush is ranked, considering like once you flop the draw, it's not that hard to hit them. Someone should look into that.
In terms of,
like, maybe we've got it wrong.
Maybe we've valued the flush too highly.
Yeah. Don't you think you should go straight then flush? Or I mean,
can you imagine if someone checks it and they're like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Joe Stapleton.
Because
right.
think about it, you never make an open-ended straight.
Right. I think it's because people play suited cards more, right? So you don't play 6-7 offsuit as often as you play anything suited. So you tend to see.
Well, I think it's that you can flop a straight draw much easier than you can flop a flush draw, but making your straight is harder.
It's harder to make a flush overall.
Overall, right.
Yeah. Which is obviously why it is ranked.
But has anyone really looked into this?
Have we checked?
Yeah. Can you guys check? Can somebody on Twitch check this for me?
We need statisticians and mathematicians. Or maybe only mathematicians.
Zerky says, come on, it's about percent. What you talking about?
But we know that, but has anyone checked recently? Is the worry from Joe Stapleton, which is, let me point out, it's a ludicrous worry. This has been checked in.
I don't think anyone's ever checked it.
Oh, just one more time to satisfy Joe. And interestingly here, it's Kalidou So who bets the turn and gets Pollock's flush draw to fold. Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows it's it's just not going to hit. Maybe he's got the insider information on the checking the percentage of the flush.
You never have my back on this, Jamie Staples.
Well, we're checking in on Mr. Staples. There has been an all-in from Denis Shafikov. Decision is on Jamie. Well, he's had a double up since we last saw him. He's now got close to 400K. It's a King 9-7-3-3 board. And Jamie folds.
We're on TV, man. You gotta show the bluff. And a king.
Jamie says he folded a king. Jamie left with 350K. And more sad news, I'm afraid. There is our online qualifier, Alphonse Karam. He is out, but cashing for 12,080 euros. And that's something I didn't expect to see.
What?
Ben Wilanovsky's out. Now, a short while ago, he had 1 million chips, but there was a huge cooler. Renato Caneo eliminated Ben Wilanovsky. It was ace-king against king-queen. Wilanovsky with the king-queen. Both players flopped trip kings, got it in on the turn. The ace kicker played, and he is now the chip leader with 1.4 million, having started the day with a stack of 75K.
The battle of the most ridiculous haircuts.
Well, let's look at the lineup, the full lineup of our new feature table. The table will be bringing to the main stage after the break in 2 minutes' time. Adrian State is in seat 1, David Leia in seat 2, Julian Sitbon in seat 3, Yosafat Cruz, Yuri Horak, Marius Conan, and then we have the two big names at the table, Mustapha Kanit and John Juanda.
I'm pretty stoked for that table. Normally, I don't really care. Mustapha Kanit on the button. 10 big blinds.
Yeah, back to where he was.
If one chip goes in, no, they're not all going in. Wait, what? What happened?
He said all in.
I see.
It's verbal. So he is all in with the suited ace. Can't blame him. King Jack, I think this is going to be a call.
Mustafa would have to shove pretty wide. King Jack not doing terribly against ace 4 suited.
Easy.
Kanit did double of ace deuce suited earlier, so got to hold it one more time. 59% chance to double up.
Kanit, a very dangerous player. Everyone at this table would be probably pretty happy to see him go, although he is fun to play with. Jack on the flop. It's going to almost close the door entirely on Mustafa's chances. Just 15% equity. 3 outs. 5 does provide some additional outs. A deuce does not. Kanit needs to hit an ace, and only an ace, to stick around in this tournament. Bye-bye, Mustafa. Smell you later.
Good luck.
It's 8s versus 5s. Jamie all in and ahead. Looks like the triangle is in front of the 5s, though, so Jamie does have the man cover, it seems.
Oh.
Oh, man.
That
is a 5 on the river. Jamie.
Oh, no.
Now down to 200K. What an up and down day this boy is having. Now, I've got some good news. In 77 minutes' time, when we're back from the dinner break, Jamie and his 200K are going to be right there on the feature table.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So 81 players remaining, 15 minutes into this blind level, 6-12. Stefan Jedlichka will be first to act. Folds. Petrzelka is out. Bucket hat guy, not interested. Jamie Staples will be very interested in pocket aces.
What an absolute dream.
As interested as you can be. The ace and the other ace.
He raises to 26,000. Denis Shafakov's got queens.
I mean, you're always going to see the 3-bet get it in here, and the absolute dream spot for Jamie.
You would imagine. Absolutely. The more conventional play to put in another raise with the queens. And never with the intention to fold it.
Shafikov 3 bets, 75,000. Fold from the button. Round to Coolman in the big blind. He passes back on Jamie, and I think we know what he's going to do. Fewer than 20 bigs.
On.
He shoves.
Snap shoves.
And Shafikov snap calls. A great spot for Jamie. It's Domination Nation. He's a 4-1 favorite to double up here through Shafikov.
And more than 500,000 chips in the middle.
I feel pretty good.
I mean,
not so you should, Jamie.
Been running the best.
Not all the way good.
Situations.
Dealer, chop it worst. Chop it worst.
You can't be that negative when you've got aces.
You've got to believe.
But a sweat at least.
Send him your energy.
Lots of holds out in the chat. 5 cards to come.
Don't look.
It's an ace-high flop.
Ooh, Jack of spades.
Clean. It's a clean start.
Jack or 9 of spades, that's fair.
I think the king of spades would be the ultimate sweat card here.
Oh man, I don't want to see it.
Oh. I'll shut up now.
Be careful with your
Why did I do that?
You feel good?
There's always a sweat.
Oh man, I'm nervous for him.
Shafikov has 11 outs.
If you're going to lose, it's a good one.
He made a set and he's only a 3-1 favorite.
11 cards can eliminate Jamie Staples. Oh, thank Christ, it's a brick.
Oh, the 2 of hearts, how beautiful.
The brickiest of bricks for our good friend Jamie Staples. And he's going to find a double up.
I promise never to do that again.
I would like the 10 of spades.
James out here calling the king of spades, and bang, it rolls
you
off.
You are one sick man.
Whew.
Oh, look at this. Petrozelka with kings.
220.
Now, come on.
220, I
I
started.
just lost one half of my new superhero duo. I can't have the other one go out on the very next hand.
Not so superhero duo, more like. Can't even win poker hands.
Zing.
How are they going to save the world, am I right? I think your franchise is dead on its feet,
Oh my
James.
God. It's a conspiracy. DC and Marvel have got together and bocked the pair of them.
What's your play with the kings? Are we shoving or are we going to slow play and call Sprague?
I would imagine we're all in. I think we're too shallow to do anything else with the 2 10s.
And he might get away from the 10s now. This is a petrifying 3-bet.
Certainly from the big blind as well, versus the under the gun open off such a short stack.
100%.
I think Petrozelka's actually getting more action, something we spoke about a little bit earlier. I think you're getting more action if you just open jam. This seems just always too trappy, as if it's always going to be a much stronger hand.
All in.
He does.
Oh, no.
All in.
No. So 10s into kings. It's Domination Nation. And Klas Lofberg, the civilian alter ego of Bucket Hat, the superhero sidekick of Coolman, is all in and at risk.
Almost got me to pass, so now I need to hope.
Let's deal the board. Let's put him out of his misery. Ace, queen, 3. Lofberg down to 9%.
Not even a backdoor diamond sweat either. Petrozelka holding the king.
I'm beginning to doubt his superpowers.
Well, if he does have superpowers, be them in the hat or otherwise, now's the time to use them.
Yeah, I need to try.
Standing up, plus the bucket hat, 15% equity in real terms. River card. 10!
Oh my God, it's a 10.
It worked. It's a kind of magic.
Wow. never doubt the bucket hat.
Hallelujah! It's a miracle.
And there it is, poker fans. A miracle on 5th Street.
Oh boy, big news from the outer tables. Dominic Panka all in. Pocket eights versus King Jack. It's a race. Ace and a king and a 10 on the flop. Panka is dead to an 8 on the river. Panka, I thank you. Good day, sir. Dominic Panka eliminated, 19,760 euro. And 166, we see Jamie Staples, your hero. Once again with pocket fours, makes it 35,000.
Ben Heath on the button looks interested. Pocket sixes.
Oh boy.
Does he flat call? Does he re-raise?
Both these guys, oh, Jamie has a pretty awkward stack, 32 big blinds to start the hand. Heath's got 50. That means he's not super likely to re-raise, right, Randy? Because does he really want to play for all 32 of Jamie's big blinds?
No, if he re-raises, he's basically trying to turn it into a bluff. He does think he can outplay Jamie in position with a pair of sixes, so he does call. Ben Heath is, a very good tournament player, very confident in his live game. See if Jamie can hit a 4. Oh!
He does, but that 4 is
good.
the worst 4 to ever happen to Jamie Staples.
Jamie Staples has set the trap, but he's being trapped right now.
It's a double reverse trap. Jamie Staples, pretty much dead to quads.
I don't see how he can not lose all of his chips by the end, unless he hits a 4. Ben Heath is going to bet.
Oh,
man.
Jamie, he's covered. He's so happy right now.
He is so happy right now.
So his heart is beating out of his little chest, his newly skinny chest.
I like to check call here, despite him going to lose his hand. It's just setting the trap, make it look like you're weak.
Oh, gosh. Oh, it just gets worse.
Staples checks.
Oh, Jamie.
Ben Heath actually probably thinks Staples has like a hand like jacks, 10s, 9s.
I don't know what Jamie's comfort food is, but whatever it is, we need to hide all of it.
It's not poker chips.
He's certainly not going to have any of those. Oh, buddy. Twitch, I'm so sorry. It was great having you guys. Good news is you can knock off 23 minutes early.
Ben Heath betting 94,000. Jamie trying to feign some weakness, try to make it look like he's got a hand like 10s or 9s that hoping Heath will try to move him off of. Just makes a call, smooth call. It's very smooth there, Jamie.
Spooky Scary Skeleton on Twitter says Jamie should shout "Let's go" super loud every time he wins a pot. Not now, Spooky Scary. Your timing is terrible.
It's not the card that'll save him. He would need to have seen like a 6 or a king.
A king at least.
So Ben Heath, it's 2 decisions. Does he shove all in here, thinking his opponent has a king?
Yeah, of course he does.
Does he put a little bit less and hope his opponent has queens? He does
There's
shove.
the shove. Jamie,
Call.
poor
Calls.
guy has got a call. What a cooler.
Oh, man.
So disgusting. Yeah, that was the inside scream right there. Jamie taking it well.
GG, guys. It was fun.
Oh, man.
Brutal.
I don't like to see that happen to anyone.
Hey, Jamie played great.
GG, good luck,
Played
man.
that hand perfectly. Just out. It's nothing you can do sometimes.
It's a good plan.
You can see his heart breaking.
Okay, Jamie, what a day you've had. That was an absolute roller coaster of emotions for you, and a sick finish. It kind of summed up the whole day, the way it ended.
It really was, yeah. It was up and down. We had some really exciting moments where I doubled up, and some heartbreak where I got it in good and it didn't work out. So overall, I had a ton of fun, but I end up on the rail.
And finally, is there anything you'd like to say to all the support you got online?
It was absolutely crazy. This whole tournament, Twitch chat was behind me and on social media and stuff. So just a big thanks to all of them. The support meant a lot, and it kept me motivated all day.
Here are our final chip counts at the end of day 3. Is Ben Heath at the top of the heap, at least for the feature table. He's got 68 big blinds. Average is around 50. Michaelides with 56. Everyone with kind of decent to awkward stacks till we get down to Klaus Lofberg with 21 big blinds. Michael Zhang, he is in the danger zone with 8 big blinds. All these players will be coming back tomorrow for day 4.